Greetings travelers! Today I'm going to give you a tutorial on the Tales of Alethrion board game. Imagine you could be a hero in Tales of Alethrion and travel out in the world and discover different creatures, monsters, find treasures and make your own adventure. That is what I tried to do with this game. If you haven't gotten the game already on the Kickstarter campaign, then you can get it in the description below or on talesofalethrion.com. The Tales of Alethrion board game is a 2 to 5 player board game where you explore locations and become stronger while recruiting unique companions. Players that you meet may become your kind allies, or perhaps even your worst enemies. No matter what, all players will be tested when they face their foes in a final battle. Will you be corrupted on the way and fight to be the last and best hero standing with the treasure, or team up with fellow heroes to win together? Each round, new locations are revealed and players decide which one they would like to explore. The game length is variable. It can be modified to be longer or shorter, so you can base it on how much time you have available for your adventure. You will recruit new heroes which have unique abilities, gain new weapons and spells, gain experience points, and gain gold to buy upgraded cards. But if that's not enough for you, then you can weaken other players with curses and gain epic benefits in exchange for greed tokens. But be careful, as these might corrupt you in the end. Each player will end the game on the final location on the map, Alethrion's lair. This is a huge treasure chamber where a dark, evil deity awaits. It's the final boss of the game, and each player roll a dice on this tile. If you fail the dice roll, it means that you have been corrupted. The more temptations you have taken during the game, the easier it is to be corrupted, and a corrupted player can only win by defeating every other player and the evil deity at the end. So they win alone. The other players who have not been corrupted, they win if they defeat the evil deity and potential other greedy players. The game box contains map tiles, hero cards, HP trackers, spell cards, airship cards, curse cards, equipment cards. You get +1 and -1 modifiers. You get gold tokens, greed tokens, XP tokens. You get enhanced cards. You get standees, which is like more 2D versions of your heroes. And then, of course, you get the rulebook. And 15 dice and 1 unique dice which will be used as the attacking die. Box contains miniatures for the miniature version of the game. I highly recommend that you paint them. I've painted mine and I think it makes the experience a lot more fun. But they come in grey. To set up the game, you have to set aside Alethrion's lair and the training grounds tiles. Shuffle the remaining map tiles and place them face down on top of the Alethrion's lair tile. The amount of tiles influences the game length. For a regular game, we recommend using 3 tiles. Place the training grounds tile in the middle of the play area. All heroes start here. Organize the game space. Collect all tokens, buffs and abilities and sort them nearby. Let's see how I've done it here. They're beautiful. Also have a great big table. Set aside the starter heroes, Tira, Wilhelm, Amarath, Vito or Ken. Of course, when you've played more times, you can choose other heroes, but these are the miniatures and standees you get. Shuffle all cards of the same type. That means curse, equipment, spell and hero. Each player rolls for initiative by rolling a 6-sided die. In order of initiative, the players choose their starting hero card, their corresponding miniature or standee, an HP slider, an AP slider, and a single small die to serve as an AC indicator. The Tales of Alethrion board game is all about your heroes and making them as strong as possible so you can win the game. As the game progresses, you will be able to acquire up to 3 heroes at a time by purchasing hero cards with XP. You do this in the shopping phase. More on that later. There are 25 heroes to choose from, and they have different abilities as shown in the top left corner of each hero card. These abilities, except for one, can be used in other players' turns as well as your own turn. Take for example Brun. Take for example the mighty hero Brun. As shown in the top left corner, his ability is Power Up, which enables him to spend ability points to add 1 to any attack roll. This can also be used on other players and enemies and can be critical if your roll is just under your opponent's armor class. This will be more clear when we explain the rules of battle later in the video. Surprise attack. This ability can only be used on a player's own turn opposed to the other abilities, and it is used just before you roll an attack roll. The ability only has an effect if your attack hits, and it lets you roll another die to do extra damage to a target equal to that die roll. Spell control. Spell control has 2 different possibilities of your choosing. Either you can add +1 to any hero spell casting value when they roll to see if they can cast a spell or not. The other option can only be done during the spell casting phase. Instead of casting a spell, you can reactivate a hero's used spell so it may be used on your next turn. Manipulate. With the Manipulate ability, your hero can switch an armor class die out with another hero's armor class die, and then continue the attack as normal. Weaken. The Weaken ability lets you spend any number of ability points and subtract that amount from any attack roll value. This also works against monsters. To keep track of your hero's health during a fight, there are HP sliders, also called health point sliders, which you can place underneath your hero's cards. Slide your HP tracker card according to the HP you have left on your hero card. In the beginning of each battle, you will have to roll a 6-sided die for each of your heroes and place it on the AC icon in the bottom left corner of the card. This die acts as your AC indicator, your armor class indicator, which is the lowest value an attacker has to roll on a 1d6 die to deal damage to you. We will explain how battles work later. Now that you have set up the board and chosen your starting heroes, you're ready to start the game. The rounds in this game have 4 phases: the reveal phase, the move phase, the scenario phase, and lastly, the shopping phase. Reveal. Draw the top tile from the tile deck and place it above and adjacent to the previous tile, as if to create an illusion of an unfolding map. In case of a map tile containing more than one location, all players high roll. The winner decides on the location to visit that all players must move to. The decision can be overridden by a player who takes a greed token. Any possible ties are resolved by another high roll. A single location might contain multiple scenarios, chosen by a 1d6 roll. Find all conditions and details of location and scenarios starting on page 7 of the rulebook. Shopping. In the shopping phase, you may spend your hard-earned gold and XP for upgrades of all kinds. Scenarios drive the game forward and create specific rules for the next battle. Some will have you battle against each other, while others require you to work together to defeat NPCs. Ultimately, you reach Alethrion's lair, where it will be decided who will win the game. We will talk more about this scenario and how you win the game in the end. Each scenario has its own unique spin to the rules, and in this video, we'll go over a few examples. The one you attack is the one who gets the next turn, and the next one is... You can read through the rules for each scenario in the manual. Training grounds. You always start at the same scenario, which is the training grounds. In this scenario, you perform a standard battle against each other to hopefully earn a little bit of head start. Luckily, no heroes will die from this scenario, and everyone makes a full recovery, so this is a good occasion to get comfortable with the rules of a standard battle without dire consequences. Standard battle. A lot of the scenarios will have you perform a standard battle, but often with a different twist depending on which scenario you have moved into. In a standard battle, you start by determining the armor class value of each of your heroes. Then you'll restore your heroes' hit points and ability points from previous battles. The player starting will be decided by a high roll. The starting player goes first and may cast one spell before performing an attack roll with one of their heroes. An attack roll is performed with a single 6-sided die, which decides whether your attack was a hit, miss, fumble, or critical hit. If you roll a 1, your own hero will take damage equal to another 6-sided die roll. Whether you hit your target is decided by the AC value. If your roll is over or equal to your target's AC, they take damage equal to their AC. And if the final result of your roll is a 6, you have made a critical hit and may roll again to deal even more damage to a target. When your attack is over, the targeted player rerolls their AC. It is now their turn to attack. The battle ends when only one player has a hero with remaining HP. When the scenario ends, your heroes might have lost all of their HP. If this is the case, then you can save them by performing a death save roll. This determines whether your heroes leave the battle with minor damages or whether they'll die from their battle scars. Whew! Everybody has rolled their death save rolls. And then the fun starts. The shopping phase. This is where you can spend your XP and GP to either purchase tokens with your XP or cards with your GP. Tokens give your heroes upgrades, while cards include spells, equipment, heroes or curses. This is also where you can pick up greed tokens, which grants you an instant benefit. Greed might, however, end up turning you against all other players in the final battle. You can only have 3 greed tokens in a game. Spells can only be used by heroes during a scenario once. When you have used it, you turn it upside down, and then you can only use it again if you have the ability Spell Control. Curses can be put on other players' heroes to give them a disadvantage during battles. This can be used by you strategically, tactically, and especially if you're going solo and want to win the game without the other players. Equipment are used to empower your own heroes and prepare them for the next battle. Alethrion's Lair! Ultimately, you'll end up at Alethron's Lair to put your heroes to the final test and defeat the greed, the dark villain, the evil deity, the most badass final boss in the game. But wait, some of you might have also turned evil and corrupted on your journey and want all of the gold for yourselves. Every player rolls a 6-sided die before this scenario starts. If you roll a 6, you will turn evil, and each greed token you have adds 2 to your roll. That means if you have 3 greed tokens, there's no chance that you will be a good fellow at the ending of this game. You will just be greed's servant and try to get everything for yourself. There will be only one ruler, and that is you. Congratulations, you won, you got the treasure, but you are now a warlord who will conquer the lands and become the next greed. Unless the other heroes beat you and the greed and all other corrupted souls, then they win, they come to the next tavern, they build a new society, share their gold, and live happily ever after. Let's see where your journey takes you. That's it! You're now ready to make your own journey and make your way to Alethron's Lair. Thank you so much for making it to the end, and we hope you're going to enjoy this game as much as we do. And remember, the journey is the reward. And also remember, if you already played the game and you got it on Kickstarter, please leave a review on Boardgame Geek. There's a link in the description. If you don't like the game, please don't. Just kidding. Also, you can get the game in the link in the description. Everyone who has supported this game and the project in any way, we are so grateful. Thank you so much. You're the one who makes this project happen. Thank you so much for staying to the end. Stay epic out there. High five.